Welcome to Imperfect Heart, a place for you to join me, Jeff Holden, in conversations, discussions, and dialogue about our hearts and the impact myocardial bridges have on them. We'll talk with healthcare professionals, those in related fields that support our condition, and others just like us with stories of their myocardial bridge experiences. It's my intention for this content to inform, educate, entertain, and even motivate or inspire you in your personal journey on dealing with a myocardial bridge. Most importantly is to have you leave each episode with hope, knowing you're not alone and that what you're experiencing is real. The episode you're about to listen to was recorded at the Imperfect Heart Live Meetup. This session was the session on caregivers, significant others, spouses, loved ones, who will share their stories about what it was like to go through the experience with their loved one in the process of getting unroofed or in the diagnostic process of getting properly identified with a myocardial bridge. We did have some challenges with the audio, so I apologize, but I think the content is strong enough that you'll appreciate it and enjoy it.
If everybody could go around the table and just introduce yourselves, spouse, caregiver, significant other, although who's here and everything is recording, so we'll have you. And I'm looking forward to hearing the stories. So,
Teresa, I'm Teresa Holden. I'm Jeff Life. Are we just introducing ourselves, or do we have to say something?
Introduction to start, and then
She's like, I love Jeff.
You're a lucky man, Jeff.
I'm a very lucky man.
Oh,
We're all lucky.
Yeah.
We're lucky that we're all
True, everybody's
healthy
here.
and I saw your yay.
Yeah, and I'm lucky to have this
Yes.
guy. You know what? I do want to say something.
Yes.
Because there was a point when we didn't know what was wrong with me, as many of us went through our process, let's say. And I had to wear this life vest, which is it's a mobile defibrillator. But I had to come into the office every day, and I was at a cardiac rehab, pre-surgery, pre-everything. They figured that I had had a heart attack, and so they put me in cardiac rehab to try to figure out what it was. Well, that's when I had a run of ventricular tachycardia, and it caused me to have to wear this vest and everything. But I came back to the office that day. I'm in the office, the doc calls and says, "Where are you?" At the office. He goes, "Did you faint? Did you pass out?" I'm like, no. But that sensation,
Wow.
which we found out now was endothelial dysfunction, was really severe, and I had to take a break after cardiac rehab. He goes, "Well, you went into ventricular tachycardia, stop what you're doing, get to the hospital right now." And I said, "Okay, well, let me finish." He goes, "No, now." Now. I said, okay. Put my stuff away, I'm on my way. He goes, "You can't drive."
Yeah, really, who's driving?
What do you mean you can't drive? So I had to walk down into the studio. You remember this. And Sawyer's been with me for maybe about 8 months at the time, or a year. And I said, "Hey, Sawyer, you gotta run me to the hospital because they think I'm gonna die." And so he drove me down. I called my wife.
Bless you.
I called Teresa and said, "Hey, Sawyer's running me down," because she at the time was working downtown. And it was just one of those things. So all the non-home stuff, he's been through most of it with me, to the point where I had to have a description in the office, what should happen if I drop, to everybody in the office.
Step by step.
Step by step.
That's scary.
Don't do this. This is okay. Just
Don't do
don't
CPR.
call 911, right? So
The thing that I will insert here, and everybody's different, and everybody's spouse is different, and our experience are a little bit. For us, Jeff is like this all the time, and he's actually like this when he's having a heart attack. And I'm saying that for real. Like, he's like, "Okay, well, you guys, the guys are in there with the ambulance and the gurney." He's like, "Okay, well, here, no, sit down, dude." And he's like, "Talk, what? No, sir. Why? They're looking him up. You're having a heart attack."
Like, let me help you.
Like, should I be
going faster?
I think
You missed your chance. It was your time to speed.
And the other thing I think
Mm.
that Jeff has a really high pain tolerance.
Mm.
So I think that some things, like when he came home from the hospital, he just gets in the car and he's got his pillow, and it just seems like when I think about the whole experience, he was a champ. He's sitting there, in the bed, he even got COVID right, what, 3 weeks into your
jeez.
post-surgery.
Oh, no.
I mean, cough, 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 cough.
Oh,
Oh.
But I think it must hurt. It just doesn't seem like it hurt that much.
Mm.
Oh.
We'll get back to that. So
Good story.
Wayne?
I'm Wayne McCoy.
Wayne and Jane.
Yeah, Wayne and Jay were together. Wayne and Jay.
Julie, I'm from Seattle. I'm not en route. My husband.
I'm the caregiver that everybody praises.
Well, I haven't had any surgery. And listen, my chest hurts. My chest hurt for years. I'd say that.
Oh.
I'm Linda, and I was unroofed almost a year ago, and I feel great.
Yay.
I'm Linda's husband, Ed, and so I've been in that pre and post-surgery experience we can talk about as we go along a little bit. For background, I myself, Linda's a physician, she forgot to mention that, I think, and so am I, and gastroenterology, and it's been interesting to sort of have that feel, sort of, if you will, inside medical, sort of outside both at the same time, and that, I think that colored some of our experiences both pre and after surgery for that.
I'm Jeremy. I was unroofed a year and a half ago.
Yay.
And I'm Stephanie, I'm his wife.
I'm Kelly, and I was en route 2 years ago.
And I'm Un, although it looks strange. I'm the caregiver. Best friend, God made us sisters. Yay.
Where was everybody on roof at?
Stanford.
All Stanford?
You were at Bulky in Chicago,
I was at University of Chicago. I did all my testing at Stanford.
robotically.
Wait, so were you guys done non-robotically?
I was done open.
Yeah.
Yeah, her too. What, you haven't yet?
I haven't.
Oh, so you guys are the only 3 that have.
And Jeff.
Oh, and
Jeff.
4, okay.
Stanford.
Mm.
Where'd you have yours?
Stanford.
Stanford, okay.
Yeah, open.
So in the procedural part of this, one of the things that comes up, we see it on the Facebook group, and I also hear it from people who respond to us on the program, is the concerns of the caregiver, the people who actually support us. And I will say, certainly Teresa Sawyer on the work side of things, but Teresa on the home side of things, and everything else, emotionally and, and physically, even the process to getting to the surgery. I was during COVID.
Jeez.
So she
That's tough. Yeah.
Except drop me off at the front door, see you, babe.
Oh, that's horrible.
I'm going in. And, I think that put a little bit of an extra, burden on it, because it was like, we're at the hospital, goodbye.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know, we
It's
don't know.
tough.
We don't know how we're gonna come out of it. But to the point of the support that she gave me all the way through, because I think in all of our cases, we're worried about the situation a little bit differently than the caregiver, but if you could share some of the things that were going through your mind that were happening as you're looking at your significant other going, I don't know what's going on with him or her, as the case may be.
It's almost like there's 2 dimensions, because for me, and I shared a little bit with Jane, for me, this situation occurs, and I think for me, my faith kicked in, and I just like, we're gonna handle this, like with the ambulance and the heart attack, and then the doctor's appointments, and when I met, what's his name? Boyd.
Jack Boyd.
Yeah, it was like, Jack Boyd looks kind of like Jeff. He's a straight hair guy, he's got cowboy boots on, and he's like, hey, man. And I'm like, this is good. And I just felt really good about his energy, I trusted him, and I felt like I didn't question it. I did not question it at all. And I felt just like this is all gonna be fine. And that just, I had to, because you have to. And then there's moments though, like dropping him off at 5 a.m. at the door.
Yeah.
See you later. I'm going to the hotel, and it's like, oops. I hope I do. But you don't keep that. You just move on, go to the hotel and do your thing, and then wait for the call and just kind of do your thing. So there's like two tracks of reality and just hold this energy. Where, dropping them off is like,
Yeah.
I won't forget this picture.
Especially during COVID.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
That just threw another wrinkle in the whole thing there. Man.
Every step of the way, a COVID test.
Yes.
COVID test,
Yes.
Drive-through COVID tests.
Wow.
Another COVID test. It was like, my
Nonstop.
nose is gonna.
Yeah.
Knee surgery on your nose.
Really
Yeah. Yeah.
PCR test.
Oh.
And then returning home too. And I want everybody to kind of share their individual situation. Returning home, that's when you got sick. I mean, literally, we got home and she said, I don't feel well. And I think it was just the exhaustion.
Well, no, wait, I didn't get.
Yeah, you went upstairs, remember?
No, because you were too
Forget
sick.
it.
Yeah, it was just, I think it was just all.
Well,
over my-
I do think that when you go through something like that, every one of you that has been with somebody with surgery knows you click in, it's almost like a mother thing.
Yeah.
You kick in, you gotta do this, let me just, okay, here you go. And then later, it's like, all of a sudden you come down a minute. And you're
Mhm.
like,
Then you feel it.
Think,
How about you guys? Because you're still in it, she hadn't had it.
Right. We're trying to
How
decide.
was that playing on you guys?
We try to be active. Like we've just gotten into pickleball a lot and we love it.
That's fun.
So I'll get chest pain then and have to stop a little bit, But
Yeah.
he's pretty caring when I
try to
have the
be. I
attacks.
think I'm probably not as merciful or caring as I need to be on stuff, and kind of thinking that, because usually if we were taking a walk and she would have pain, she would just have to stop for 3 to 5 minutes, whatever, and then she'd be fine. And so, I mean, a lot of times I don't take things as serious as I probably should. Like I was telling her, I had blood clots a couple of years ago. I was thinking, I'll probably walk it off. And then they sent me up to take the X-rays where
the scans.
and realizing that.
It's a new
I
one.
said, go to the emergency room immediately. So, but anyways, if I hadn't paid attention, I try to be very sensitive to what she's going through and to take it easy.
I'm not unroofed. I had all my testing at Stanford. I'm a surgical candidate and had surgery scheduled and backed off, canceled it. Just because after talking to Boyd, he's really good. He goes, I don't know. We don't know. I don't know. La, la, la. And then my doctor at the University of Washington said, you're not ready. So I was kind of going at it as a preventative approach, I thought. But really the surgery is only for symptom relief. And I do really well. I have a long bridge. It's 55 millimeters. It's very shallow. And I'm supposed to keep my heart rate at 110 or below, which is hard. But the meds do it. And I'm willing to do the lifestyle change versus the surgery. If I get more symptomatic, I'll pursue it. But I figure things change every day.
Yeah.
But I can still snow ski differently. I can still water ski differently. I don't hike like I used to. I miss that, the elevation game, but I walk all the time with my labs. And I'm tired, but I've always been tired, and it kind of explains things my whole life. I'd go ski like crazy, snow ski, and I'm like, I'm really tired. I don't know. It kind of makes sense now. I would be just exhausted. So I've always taken naps.
I can relate to that.
I've always taken naps my whole life. Even if I slept, I'd take a nap. And I think that's part of it.
I do too.
The thing is that I've learned through this is her symptoms aren't as bad as probably everybody in this room.
No.
Sleeps and then, wake up in the middle of the night, my heart is clunk, clunk, clunk. This is before that we knew anything about the
Or I
bridge.
get a zing, I go, like,
And you're like going, yeah, okay, whatever. And then she just kept going and going on this thing. And now, I'm just a novice in all this. So,
makes sense.
I'm not into I'm into the caregiving, but I'm not into like everybody else is here. We were all scheduled for it, but changed her mind. But again, she's functions pretty well.
I'm
so it's
65. I'll be 66. So if I was 40, I would probably do this surgery. Our daughter's young, it's 24. So yeah. And then when I was going to do the surgery, my daughter goes, Mom, I don't want you to do it. I'm like, what? I'm going to cry if I talk about it. I don't want you to do it. That was a big factor.
Okay.
And a friend of mine who's a surgeon said, I don't think you should do it.
So Steve is the husband looking at it going, well, are you going to be okay? What goes through your mind?
Well, I just kept going through this thing with her. We went to Stanford, the whole thing. And then she had it scheduled for June this year. Yeah, this year. And a month before that, we went up to the UW, University of Washington, and sat down with the doctor up there. I really like her.
Can I put a sidebar? University of Washington stole, what's his name? Blair. And then they created a myocardial bridge program just like Stanford. So
she knows things about it. You don't go into a heart doctor and, hey, I got this, and they blow you off like they've done everybody else around here. So I'm sitting there, and this young kid, I call him young, he's probably 35. And, she's
could be our kid.
She's talking, or, she's saying, I still do this, this, and this. The guy's just kind of looking at her like, no, what's your problem? Didn't say that, but he just looked. And she's on.
I was on
Metropopol. And things started coming back a little bit. And he goes, well, there's other drugs out here. And I go, bingo. Let's try this other thing, whatever it is. And then she comes in and
Kearney.
She's talking, and I like them. I mean, they're great. And we're just sitting there, and then finally I just look at her and I go, would you do this if this was you? And I get it, been around enough to know that they gave a very good non-answer. It was like, this is this, and going on and on and on, but I was really listening to her. And then we went out to dinner because it was about 5:00 downtown there. And I sat with her and I said, what do you think? And she goes, well, I don't know. And I go, that doctor gave a very good non-answer, but I believe that she wouldn't do it. That's
not
the
at this
answer.
point.
Not at this point.
With
That's
these symptoms.
with this. And that's what I got from her, even though she didn't say that.
Right.
She said,
But-
she kind of said, you're not great.
And so I get it.
You just worry about the future. Like, you don't want to get so bad. But then it's a big surgery.
So they've seen
So
so
I may
many
never
other,
get worse.
they've seen so many other people like yourself that are like keeling over, and it's like, you ain't that bad.
I hope I don't get there.
So my question is, you're here just to hear the stories? You know what I mean?
I'm always looking for information. I research everything. I mean, if it could be done robotically, that would be my preference.
He said like by the hand. I wonder.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I look at that going, I don't know why I'm talking, but I look at that going, I can see a guy like my age, I'm 68. And, if you go, and I don't do video games, but you see these kids doing video games and going all over the place. If I was a doctor and was always cutting or whatever it is, or doing some of this stuff, and now they stick a video game in front of me, to do this, I'm going like, I got to learn this thing. But these young kids now are learning this from the very beginning. And this is what they do. I'm just saying this, they know these little things that they're doing and the movements, and we're shoving, and so I get the younger generation and the robotic stuff can be probably, it has to be accurate. And so I can see that this guy is a little older guy and maybe doesn't want to be trained that way, but he's been doing that way his whole life. So I get that. So
I think
a guy
it's
that
just so
says,
individual.
yeah, so that guy's saying, I don't want to do robotic, but this other guy going, but geez, I've been doing this for 20 years now, robotics.
I know Stanford has
So-
fixed some people who've been unroofed robotically. I remember Schnicker saying that, but I think it's just so many unknowns.
Yeah, Dr. Boyd does robotic surgery. He just doesn't do it for.
That
procedure.
Yeah,
He doesn't, I know he
right.
doesn't
Yeah, roofing
believe in that.
procedure.
I think it's just different. for
And I think
everybody.
what's important is other people are listening to this to hear your
Yes.
engagement.
Yeah.
Steve, with you're aware, so you guys are going to have this conversation.
I have to. Because of
Well, you're going to have this conversation at some point,
Yeah.
or not. Fortunately, if that's
Yeah.
worked for you, great. That's really cool.
Mm.
Linda, Ed?
I'd say, to me, one of the striking things before surgery and still even afterwards, the symptoms in this are really not your classic symptoms. That is to me the biggest thing. I spent a lifetime, decades, chest pain that lasts more than 20 minutes. It's either a heart attack or it's nothing. Angina doesn't last for 20 minutes unless it's killing myocardial. That's like solid in your training. But in this case, yeah, not true. You know, you can have chest pain for a whole day and not have a heart attack. And it is your heart.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest lesson to learn and still think about it. So it's different.
What he's saying is that both of us kind of blew off the symptoms, as well as the cardiologist blowing off the symptoms, because we thought, well, this can't be my heart. It's
You're too
acting
happy.
too atypically to be my heart.
I'd say blow off a little strong, but I'd say, yeah, it's always hard to figure out how to grade it. And I told her a lot of times, the story is before the surgery, by the time we started figuring out this is really something, we're out snowshoeing in the Cascades, hours from anywhere, and hours on the trailhead, and she's having chest pain. So, do I call for a helicopter? Well, I got no cell phone anyway. Do I get a cell phone to get on this? She's walking, she looks pretty good, and so we made it out. But it was really a lot of struggle what that means you're having chest pain in this situation is very different. And that's the biggest thing as far as, to me, the RBL and trying to understand where it fits into things and how do you provoke, why does it get provoked different ways by emotional episodes as opposed to, it's so different when they walk up the mountain, no problem. Next day, go down the hall and it's getting in trouble.
There's no
the way it is.
pattern. That's the weird
Yeah,
thing.
that's the biggest thing about this condition. I think it's because it's so much against every other cardiac. And I think I'd say is that I hear people talking about, well, surgeons, exclude other things, is the symptoms. And my background is in GI. Spent a lot of time talking about chest pain and, it must be GERD, it must be reflux. And yeah, I'd be very careful about that. We're always careful. That's how I say, if they can swear it's not your heart, then maybe it's your GERD. But don't be saying it's GERD if there's any question of being your heart. So this makes it seem more complicated to say this kind of situation where it's maybe typical.
GERD is gastroesophageal reflux disease.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Acid reflux.
We know. They told you must have GERD. That's your heart. You have GERD.
You got everything else except a brain.
Take this pill.
Everybody knows that.
Here, here's a pill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
no, that's definitely true.
Heard everything. Oh,
That's why I did it, because I thought
It's in your
the only way
head.
to explain that.
I know.
Yeah, or we think we know it. So that's sort of while I'm talking, post-surgery, it's difficult. I mean, Linda had a full sternotomy, which is, and it hurts.
But honestly, having a sternotomy and having pain from that, it's like, I can deal with this. I have
Really?
pain medicine. I know it's going to go away.
Yeah.
I couldn't deal with the uncertainty of chest pain coming on at weird times or limiting me,
When you're on
or
the track.
the worry about, is this going to kill me? Is this going to stop me in my tracks? The chest pain from the surgery, it's like, this will go away.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I mean,
That's good.
he helped me with all
That
kinds of
is.
things. I couldn't,
had good
you feel like
drugs.
T-Rex. You can't do things. You're like this all the time, trying to keep your hands in. Like, pour me a cup of coffee. But once that was gone, I just feel so good. Yeah, he was helpful every step of the way.
Yeah. Post-surgery, I was going to thinking back on this, is recovery is, and Boyd points this out, and I absolutely agree. This is not I'm just going to gradually go better. This is a stair step kind of thing, and some steps are down as well as up. I mean, for months, I'm doing great today. Another day, boy, I just feel horrible. And so and especially that's where the emotional part comes in, because once you've gone through this kind of thing, I think it's like, I should be all better now. And the day you don't feel so better, it's terrible. And I think the partner has to realize, he or she's not feeling good today. And it doesn't mean things are really gone. Heck, it's just, this is not a good day.
It's one of those.
Tomorrow's may well be better. And you just got to kind of accept that that's what's going to happen.
And then I would feel guilty for slowing him down. It's like, no, I don't feel like taking a walk today. Or I can't go out and help you garden or something like that. But
Everybody wants to self-diagnose or diagnose.
Yeah.
I've got this. We try to stay completely away from that, just
Yeah.
because everybody's so uniquely different.
Yeah.
And I think to the point of, look, meds are working for you. For us, it didn't even work.
Yeah.
We're looking going, shoot, I wish I could have just taken the
Yeah.
meds. And it's so easy to deny all the time, which is what we tend to do, that this can't be me. I'm looking at everybody in the room, we're all in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
And we all are active, we're varying ages. I guess there's probably a spectrum of, Kelly, you're probably the youngest in the room. And, there's a 30-year gap between all of us here, but we all had the same situation. And, to that point, I think we look at the medication post, That's what screwed me up. I didn't realize there was some stuff I was taking that they didn't tell me, you can stop that now. It made me feel off.
Oh.
You know, it was, but I didn't know it. I just said, this don't feel right. You know, I kept doing and pushing and doing all the stuff you're supposed to do. And Teresa would say, what's wrong with you? You seem like you're okay, but you're just not yourself, right? And then when I realized, that's that drug, you stop that one, that's good. And then it got a little bit better. Jeremy, your situation was a little bit different because you were robotic.
I was.
And so tell us a little bit about that, because I'm blown away. The day after surgery, I'm from Chicago.
Yeah.
You were in Chicago.
Yeah.
He's running around Chicago.
Were you really?
Hey,
The
I'm
next
having a
day?
great time. I feel so good.
Wow.
And he was robotic.
We were told to go for walks.
Wow.
Well,
We're going on a Chicago tour.
A couple of days later.
Wow. That's
There were
amazing.
steroids.
You're at the University of Chicago?
Tell us about it.
so unlike a lot of the people on Facebook, praise God for it, a lot of empathy towards the struggle over the years. I had a heart attack. I had a heart attack. And of course, my wife and I are in healthcare, and I get home, I have symptoms in the afternoon, and she looks at me and she's like, you don't look good. We need to go back.
Can I ask how old you are?
47. So what is it, 45-ish when I started? And it was obviously sudden onset. I had been feeling weird for about a year and a half or so before that. And so, yeah, the symptoms were, I was pale. My blood pressure was high, way higher than it should be because I'm relatively healthy.
I'd have to go to the ER.
But I'm
Just kidding.
I was like, I'll be back there tomorrow. I'll do EKG. So we did, and then end up, yes, my cardiac enzymes are elevated. I go to the cath lab. The cath lab doc, who's fantastic, was like, you have no plaque. And you do have a bridge, but bridges don't cause these kinds of problems.
Right.
But I don't know what's going on. So I think you might be having spasms, endothelial dysfunction. And so I'm gonna give you some nitroglycerin, and it'll get better over a couple months. Well, the next 2 weeks, I went through the entire bottle of nitroglycerin. It was not getting better; it was getting much worse. And so then started the journey of like, what do we do? Where do we go? Insurance, which is
Another
a nightmare. And so long and short, I wind up on Dr. Tramel's front door down in Sanford. And
It's okay.
It's a long journey.
It's all right.
they were amazing. Similar to everyone else, they were like, have you had these symptoms your whole life? I'm like, yeah. I was an active sports person,
Okay.
big, and from a young age and through high school. I said, well, did you get short of breath? Did you this? I'm like, yeah, but I was at the top of my game. So of course I'm gonna be short of breath. Like, no. and their delivery was just so amazing. Tramel just kind of giggled at me. She's like, no, that's not normal. And they were fantastic. I mean, from start to finish, their advice, their counsel, their professionalism was just top notch. And so
Go ahead, support Philly.
Good.
I don't know when to
Help.
Just take your time.
We saw Boyd.
crickets. Then we saw Boyd. Well, we tried meds, and they were real. I love their approach because they're like, we do not want to do surgery. We don't want to do surgery. We want to try to do this with medication. And so I'm working with their team, and which I still see regularly, and just working on the meds. But the meds were getting so intense that, like, I would take the meds in the morning. I couldn't work, obviously. And the meds were getting so intense where I would take the meds, lay on the couch, and then I would wake up.
Oh, yeah.
Blood
pressure was just.
I was taking beta blockers, calcium channel blockers,
Yes.
vasodilators. We went through quite a few.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah. Regimen changed frequently.
We would, every few weeks, we go through it, like, I don't know, every month or two or whatever, we would change it up. Long and short, it just wasn't working. So I met with Boyd, and he's like, oh yeah, you're definitely a candidate. but check out the Facebook page. And so he's like, you can filter through. And so the whole way home, whatever, 5-6 hours drive home, I read through everyone's comments, and it was actually that made me think, oh, I want to do robotics. Because from what everyone says, yes, from the surgical side or surgical perspective, 3 months, you'll be fine. You can go back to work in 3 months. I'm lifting 400-pound people up alone in a hospital bed. In 3 months, my sternotomy is going to rip open. Like, if I'm 80 and I just had an open heart and I'm retired, sure. I'm not doing that kind of work. So I'm like, I'm going to lose my insurance. I'm like going to get fired. You'll afford surgery. Like, there's no way. So there's a big disconnect. And this is from people who get the surgery, the surgeons that are saying 3 months is good. And it's just the truth bridge is there's a huge gap. And it's like, yeah, no, there's no way. Because I take care of people who've ripped theirs, in the ER. Like, we get those people who've done a little too much. I'm like, yeah, 3 months is not enough time. And so I started this journey of trying to find a robotics. So I went through and tried to figure out the robotics. And I settled on bulky because of his reputation. And it was a fantastic meeting, and ended up going out there. And it was, again, in my opinion, just as good as Stanford in professionalism of it. Different, obviously. It's a different city, different perspectives, but awesome. And he was incredibly good. But his big thing was, get up and get out. And so
Yes, very quickly.
it may have been a little too quick. And so I had some internal bleeding, which ended up.
Could have been from walking around Chicago.
Listen, steroids are fantastic. So they did a block, and the surgery, obviously, and this goes to show that just the testing, how we still have a long way to go. Even our testing, Stanford's testing is, clearly one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world. And, I can't remember the exact number, like 2 or 3 centimeters max, and it wasn't very deep. When Balky got in there, it was the entire LED. You couldn't even see my LED.
Wow.
It was the entire thing was bridged. Now, they're looking inside, so there's a huge grace period which you have to give. And it was very, very deep, which that's not what the tests were showing. And so he went, and he didn't just do the entire LED. He took the whole thing all the way from he had to go up a lateral that was like 4 centimeters, went up that to find the LED, and then went all the way down. So the surgery time was significantly longer, it took a lot. Like, and it's like, so much better than sternotomy, which I agree, not having experienced a sternotomy, but hearing the story is that, like, doing the robotics is awesome. Now, those metal rods going through your ribs, and that was like having a whole rib cage of broken ribs. That's not comfortable. But the steroids were great. So yeah, we did a whole tour of Chicago. The day and a half after surgery, we just walked around all of Chicago, literally all of Chicago. Do the boat tour, which was
Not so bad now.
yeah, which was my sitting down period. And then by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, my wife looks at me and she's like, "You don't look so good."
Are you a nurse?
Yes, we're both nurses.
You're both nurses. Okay. I didn't hear that.
And you would tell your patients to do.
There's another part of this too. Obviously, Jerry, you're empathic and emotional, and I appreciate that too, even in our conversations. But you have 3 children?
4.
4. How did you guys deal with that? What were the discussions? This is serious stuff. How did you talk about it in the house?
Well, with each child, it was different. I guess they all deal with things differently.
How old are your kids?
We have a 16, well, they're 16, 18, 21.
Oh, wow.
So the 24-year-old is out of the house, and so was 21-year-old at the time. He just moved out, though. And so after the heart attack for the 3 youngest, it was very difficult. There was a lot of fear. Or some of it was avoidance. They didn't want to talk about it. And then would slowly approach it. The youngest was probably the most talkative about it. And then when we broached surgery, it was just such a mystery to them. I don't think they really understood the complexity or the risk, why we were taking so long, because we did take a long time to decide, because we walked through all the medications, trying to do it, non-invasively first, of course, and then go to see Stanford, and then we're changing our mind and going to Chicago. So it was a lot of confusion for them, but patient and loving, and when we got home,
That's good.
That's why my understanding. I was very focused, of course. The whole thing, so.
Well, and being nurses yourselves, you have a different understanding than most of us, the elements of it. Technically, you're looking at it differently.
Yeah.
Whereas for those of us who maybe aren't as well versed, we just don't know the reality or the significance of it. Although in both cases, you may know more about it, thinking, oh gosh, it's more severe because you understand it differently, whereas we don't. So it's the uncertainty of the understanding. So I don't know which is better, knowing more about it or knowing less.
I think it's personality based. Like some people are better in ignorance, and some people are not. The difference between I need to be informed of all the little details.
And research everything.
Every little thing. I mean, I'm like that a little bit. Like we're not quite every little thing, but like I needed to know, like, wait, like even with, and Boyd was so incredibly patient with my questions, and Balky was as well, where I'm just like, I would walk the question, I'd say it one way, and he'd give me the answer, or both of them would give me the answer, and then I would re-ask it backwards.
In a different way.
Because I wanted to see all the angles. But I mean, yeah, I don't want to cry again. So
Okay. I know what you want me to say. Quite the journey is.
How about you guys? Because how long have you known each other?
For about 24 years.
Oh, wow. That you're born.
Been on?
Thank you. I'm double that.
So you've been on?
Kind of weird to talk about my perspective, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, we went to the same church. She's 11 years younger than me. And so when I met her, she was just like a kid. She was 17, I was 29. And we were just friends. And then God truly, it's been a long journey. And so she was just like a friend. And then I knew that she had a heart condition. I didn't know anything. I'm a music teacher, very unhealth. I don't really have health issues. And so I didn't know anything. And so I just knew she had a heart issue. After that, like she couldn't go to college because she was bedridden. And those are the years that I think I got to know her more, because I don't know. I was like, oh man, she bed. Like I couldn't believe that some that age was. And she looks like this. She looks like a Barbie doll to me. And then but she has all these problems that she can't even like sit up. It was very odd.
Yeah.
And so me being very ignorant, I was like, okay, I'll just go over and be with her. She's a lot more like mature and old soul than I thought she would be. It just started very casually like that through church. Yeah. And for me, all those years prior, I never cried. I was just very like methodical, like dun, 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 and I was like ready for anything, whether she lived here or not, whatever. And then, but when it recurred and she was like in the hospital again for her heart, I like totally broke down. We had another friend there who's a nurse. Like I'm her support, she's our support. We need like branches of support, right? And I said to her, like, why am I like so broken up now? Although she's had worse things go through in the past. And she goes, well, you guys are like light years closer now. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I didn't realize why I was so emotional at that time. When I thought it was over and it was recurring. And then so fast forward to kind of bridgy stuff is we saw her cardiologist again. And basically he said, you're going to just have to learn to live like this. Because he did everything he could. And he just said, you have an arrhythmogenic heart. You just get every arrhythmia that's possible. And that's the extent of it. And then we did hear like she had so she finally had a CT angiogram, showed the bridge, but and like everyone else, sorry, they go, yes, you have one, but it's benign. And she did her own research though. And then when she did Stanford, it just happened to be Stanford. And she's like, all the symptoms, every single one she has.
Bingo.
So she was like, hey, I should look into this. But then the cardiologist, and it's no blame to someone specific, because I believe that cardiologists now, historically, they're not taught this. And so why would they believe differently? It's just a time of change, I feel. and you guys are all the guinea pigs, and we need like a longitudinal study, right, to see what happens to you in 10, 20 years, which I'd love to do. But she said, they do the surgery, and he just was like, I wouldn't recommend because it's a big surgery, open heart, and I don't know that it'll help you. So that was kind of his stance, which I can't blame. She basically very nicely pushed for a referral anyway. And he said, all right, you could go. And so we're like, just give us the paper. It was kind of like that. It was like ran with it. And she did it. And then what's funny, not really to blame. Now he's like, oh, I'm so glad you did it. I'm glad that's helped you. And kind of like as if he was supportive the whole time, which is fine because it has produced change because his PA, him, the cardiologist that she went to with her hospital, even another cardiologist that doesn't know her personally, who works there, would come up to her now and say, hey, I heard about your situation. So if I hear another person with a myocardial bridge, I take it seriously and send them. And that's what I've heard from him. And
How long ago was this you had unroofed?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
yeah, and asymptomatic, which is,
That's great.
she used to have 3,000 arrhythmias per month. And then she has 0 since
Oh,
then.
Yay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we'd hope that there's no regrowth or weird things, but we didn't know. We just don't at this point. And yeah, for me, I mean, my perspective is, yes, it's not one cardiologist's fault that it's not recognized because again, that's the training that at this point in history. But it's at the cusp. I feel it's kind of exciting that it's changing. It's like any other thing that, I don't know, like or like TB. That is a point we didn't have those treatments or it was seen differently. And it's kind of like the new thing of a heart issue that's like, oh, it's not benign and more percentages have it and who knows, blah, blah, blah. And it's not GERD, So to me, it's like exciting to look at it. And I just wish that education could happen faster.
I know.
Yeah. And so I don't know, but it seems like every cardiologist actually sees a patient succeed or benefit from it, their belief system changes. So like even the older ones, who knows, maybe the younger ones are getting taught differently now, but I just wish that it would somehow get it out there.
Evolve faster.
Yes, just get the word out. And because even before any of this, even before meeting her, just on a side, like I would hear random, like news stories about this healthy person. They were kind of like you and like jogging along and he just dropped dead, right? And they had no other symptoms. And like decades ago, and I'm like, that's really odd. I wonder if that person had this. And
Yeah,
you just
we do that too. It's like
Yeah.
Snooker when she started that study.
Yeah.
The guy running on the
Yeah,
treadmill.
So I
stuff
think
like that.
what you just showed us, Soon, is the degree of engagement that the support person gets. And I know for Teresa,
oh,
That's
so sweet.
Buddy.
I haven't
Aw,
I thought that was just going
it's
to be you.
important. It's important.
There's something about like
Well,
men
the-
welling up. It's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, the significance of what you guys go through and absorb. You're a music teacher. You're nothing about health.
Yeah.
And here you are telling us the specifics of the condition and how fortunate we are to have medical profession here, including some gastroenterologists, because that's what we always hear. We're going to start looking at GERD. I was scheduled for the
Endoscopy?
upper GI.
Endoscopy.
My heart attack beat me to it. So I didn't have to go.
The truth came
Well, you
out.
avoided that one.
But
Sternotomy instead.
well, it was up there, just a part of the body. As you get closer and closer to the decision, or if you don't have to, fortunately, maybe the medical side of it, medicine side of it, medication side of it will take care of it for you. The significance of having somebody. How many, you guys are not unroofed yet, but how many of you, by just show of hands, think in the process or thought in the process that you might die? Probably.
Yeah.
Every day.
Depends how you feel.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it's always in the back of your mind, especially when you wake up at 2 a.m. Like, there's always that fear of a heart attack or just dropping dead out when I'm walking it's not a lot, but you do think about it. Just like, or if you don't feel good, it makes everything worse. If you don't feel good one particular day, I'm like, oh, crap. And then the next day you feel good.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't sit there and think about it all the time.
It's hard not to when you're feeling it every day. Like my symptoms every day
That's horrible.
were the exact same feeling that I had when my troponin was showing that I was having heart damage.
Did you just
Exact same.
terrible? I mean, did you just have that impending doom feeling constantly?
Yeah. And you end up kind of going, do you want, and I can't even imagine what my wife went through.
He became my patient.
To the point that we had a conversation about it. And I was like, I don't want to be your patient. I want to be your husband.
Aw.
And so,
He was sick every day.
and that's a tough one because every day I thought I was going to die.
Mm.
I would take my medicine, I'd pass out because my blood pressure goes so low to try to deal with not having a heart attack. And you're like, and I'm just like, I literally would have to go, okay, I'm just jumping off the cliff. Hopefully the parachute opens. You get caught up in that. I became her patient. And so it became a problem to solve. You go through this whole experience, you go, okay, everything's going to change. I'm going to live life different. We also live, I don't know if this is a Western thing because we live in the West. So I'm just like, maybe. I don't know. Probably not because it's, I think, a human thing. Where like we have to remind ourselves, okay, or I do at least, because we get caught up. Overtime, I can pay for this, I can do this, we can do that. Life, yada, yada, yada. And then it's like stepping back going, nope. I want to look at my wife's face just for 5 minutes.
Oh.
Like, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Or I want to go for that ride or that run. I go to the gym now. I couldn't do that. And like, it's a big deal. Like, that's fantastic. I can actually get some of this COVID fat off. And you're like, okay. And so like little things where friends like, I got different priorities now.
Right.
And it's hard. The thing is to remind yourself that and not to lose it over time when you get back into that complacency of like
That routine.
you start complaining about this, complaining about that. You're like, wait a minute, I'm alive.
That's right.
Like my trip to Costco means something completely different now. It's so rewarding to be like, to sit there and just like look at people and be like, I see your soul now.
Yeah.
I get to spend time with your soul.
Right.
And this isn't just
An irritating person.
still like
As the caregivers, and again, for the non-unruffed, it's going to be a little bit different, but I think you guys will appreciate it. You guys, when you look at your significant other or spouse now, do you look at them differently? Has something changed in their
For sure,
something?
for sure, I do. I hate to say frequently, but I am very mindful of some of the irritations, and I think about the alternative, and I think just bring it on, just keep
Irritating.
I really do. I think, that could be irritating, but you know what? You're here, and you're all happy about this. And you know what? I just
Can I get away with more? Is that what
you do. You know?
Oh, that's
But it is.
Yeah.
They're still here,
Yeah.
and they're healthy, and certain things.
Right.
You know, it's funny when it's like anybody, you have something happen to you, and then it's really easy to take it for granted.
Right.
That,
Yeah.
I forgot that I had that pain. Oh,
Yes.
it's gone because it's gone.
Yeah.
Whereas when you go through this kind of a thing, I think it's a little just more significant, even for the person who didn't go through it. Because when you're a pair, you're a pair. And I remember one night when Jeff was still in the hospital here in Sacramento, and the doctors were all around him saying, we don't know, we just don't know. And then
It's
we were
tough.
saying goodnight, and he was saying, in his chipper way, all bad news, it's all bad news. And I had nothing to say, it doesn't good. And then I was thinking, like swear words, like, this might, I had that for one moment that he could be gone. And that was bad. That was a bad reality, that moment. Otherwise, I felt pretty strong. But yeah, you do learn to appreciate more, for sure.
not sweat the small stuff.
For sure.
And you from a medical perspective, I mean, maybe looking at it a little bit differently or not?
Yeah, I don't know. Trying to take how it's funny. It's interesting. Linda raised her hands, like, I thought I was going to die, and I don't know. I honestly thought, I know she's a very strong person. I just never thought she was going to die. For the most part, there was a time when in the ICU, and she's still intubated post-surgery. I was like, oh, this is actually a little bad. But I do I look at her differently after this? No, our relationship's changed in some ways. And the main difference I can say is, she's much, much better. There's still sometimes some symptoms with activity. And I have to be the governor now. It's like, you're not supposed to be walking that fast. You don't feel so good. Or did you forget to tell me you're having a little shortness of breath today? So there's a different dynamic.
He'll slow up on a trail, and I think, oh yeah, I know why you're slowing up. You want me to slow up. I know why you're looking at that flower, because you want me to stop and look at that flower.
Maybe he's getting hurt. You never know.
Definitely there's some change.
You're cooking more now.
I cook a lot.
Yeah, face the best omelets.
And as the medical part, it was interesting. I kind of watched myself. I just retired the last several years, and the ICU was sort of like, I've been in the ICU before. I know how this works, And you probably had the situation. You're kind of like, you want to be the nurse, the doctor a little bit, but that's not really who you're supposed to be right now. You're supposed to be the partner. There's definitely an interesting dynamic to try and walk that line. And I probably stepped over to the wrong side occasionally.
I know I
different
did,
side.
You knew it.
I don't think that's wrong. I mean, maybe you need to acknowledge who you are. That's, I guess, the thing about it. Like, I'm really permanent the spouse, but I am also, I know stuff too, and I shouldn't deny that.
We advocated for it.
So you have to that was it. That was exactly the word. You just find that way to be the advocate without being too much of it. You gotta cross the line sometimes, but not too much.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge, I think, when you have more background.
And I don't know, maybe it is the healthcare thing. I had that same feeling. I know he would feel like he was going to die, and he looked awful, and he wouldn't hurt himself. But in my mind, I kept thinking, okay, this is the next step.
Right.
I didn't think we're going to die.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, this is the next step.
We need something
Healing.
else.
Yeah. And now we're going to try this.
It's just time to change the plan a little bit. That's right.
Okay, slowly down.
Were your kids thoughtful of you not feeling good? Because we have a son with 4 children, and they love to wrestle. Attack dad, and wrestled with
Ours are older.
be cautious with you.
Ours are older.
True.
So there was no wrestling.
Okay,
Now-
but not at that time.
Now post-surgery, when I was like on the way back, started to do my own cardiac rehab, the youngest likes to do, he likes to push those upcoming buck buttons.
Yeah.
And what was fun about it was now I could, right?
That's
I
good.
wasn't going to have chest pain. I didn't think I was going to die. The fact that I was like, all right, it's on, buddy. And then to have him be like, old man strength is real.
Even old.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're ancient. That's true.
And
It must be old. He's 40.
But they did step up and help out more.
That's nice.
Things that I would need.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Pulled together.
I'd say the boys were a little bit more cognizant than the girls.
And do you look at him differently now?
So I look at it. Well, I was thinking about that question. So how I look at him differently is because we didn't know he was sick. And before, we thought it was COVID, that he was gaining weight. He was sort of sleepy, took naps, lots of naps, but he had worked night shift before. And he started using an inhaler. We thought, well, now he's getting some asthma just as we're getting older. No, these are all symptoms of what was happening. And I missed that. We both missed it. So now I look at him, I'm like, wow, his color is good. He's more active. He can walk around. We use Costco as an example just because before he couldn't push. He'd have to have the cart, but then he couldn't push and we'd have to stop. And now we, don't zip through Costco, but we're in Edinburgh and we hiked to the top of.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, tears because he couldn't do it.
So we went to
that's how I
Edinburgh
look at it.
after.
Oh, you did?
As it was months after, but before I went back to work, and it was all cobblestone. And so we took one of the hills, and the steps were. It was.
Did you go up to the castle?
No, not even. It was one of the
We did
hikes?
where the Athens
Okay.
things are, and the pathway up there's no way I would have been able to do that. And so I took that hill, and just walking wasn't a race.
Sure.
To me.
And I took that, and she's huffing and puffing behind me. And I get to the top and realized I did this.
Yay.
I sat down and wept for.
Yay.
So you just look at their strength now.
That's great.
You guys walked through, or you're walking through it at a young age. You guys are determined. It's impressive.
I hope you enjoyed the conversation and noticed what I noticed at the end, how supportive those caregivers were and still are to each of the significant others, spouses, the individual with the myocardial bridge. We couldn't have done what we did without them. We can't do what we do without them. And to them, a great big thank you. Thank you for listening to Imperfect Heart. It's my hope that this information helped in some way to improve your situation or will help you better understand this condition. More importantly, that it gives you hope through stories that there is help and you most certainly are not alone. If you've been diagnosed with a myocardial bridge, please be sure to join the private Facebook group, Myocardial Bridge Support Group. For more information about our program or to reach me directly, visit the website, myimperfectheart.com. If you like what you heard today, please give a positive review, thumbs up, high five, or whatever your app likes. And be sure to share with everyone important to you so they understand what it is you're dealing with. Please subscribe as well. Welcome each day with gratitude and positivity. The views and opinions expressed in this program are solely those of the host and the guest and are not intended to provide, nor are they a suitable substitute for, professional care by a doctor, therapist, mental health professional, or other qualified medical professional. Imperfect Heart is a production of Hear Me Now Studio.